Any ideas on the playbook you want?
I'd love your help in guiding me on where I'd be the most useful. Okay, so...
Damn, he's already got like 3 pages for that.
Oh, did you not do like a full 5 sheet or like a full essay?
Where's your Pinterest board?
Where's your Pinterest board,
I have
Sam?
a whole Pinterest
I have a Pinterest board.
It's not about this game. It's for a kitchen remodel.
Yeah.
Welcome, y'all. We are in our session 0 for the 3rd installment of Candela Obscura. I'm so excited to be your game runner, and I could not be more pleased that you all are at the table. Thank you for saying yes, and thank you for being here. Fuck, this is great. I already did a cuss. We're doing good. So
We
just
don't have to cuss because that's going to be
everyone can do cusses now.
Okay, great.
Oh.
It's good.
Seal's broken. We can just
Seal, that's the most important thing as a
Yes,
GM. Be the
in the
first one to
first
drop an F-bomb.
30 seconds of the stream. There's some weird Twitch rule about it.
It's called
by,
setting expectations.
by the way, all I know so far is that I want to be very old. So I'm not going to stop talking like this. I'm sorry.
He's been talking like this all day.
All day.
Since
This is Liam's real voice, and he finally feels comfortable
Letting it
enough
out.
to use it. Cool. So let me just run you through our game plan for the day. We're going to talk about tone and tempo and the themes of the game. Then we'll get into character generation. My sort of philosophy about all of this is games and stories are made and broken in the like mise en place of getting everyone locked into not only who you are as a character, but what you are to each other and who you are to the world. Because those are the hardest things to manipulate once you're in it. Like once it's in the oven, we can do small corrections. But if you're like, oh, I don't really understand why I'm with this group or how I understand the world or how I interact with it, those are really hard to course correct. And you can feel the strain of trying to do so once you're running. So this will be our big time together to try to lock all of that in. My goals for you for character gen. I would love to see 80% completion. If you get to 100%, you know exactly what you want to play, and it's just about building relationships, that's great. But as long as you have a sense of what your character is and what they want, we can always manipulate the mechanics. I'm a tinkerer. I love tinkering up until the moment the cameras like run for real. So don't feel any pressure if you've made some choices and we've played it out and you walk away away from this at like 7 o'clock and you're like, actually, I don't fucking like anything I picked. We can tinker with that. We can build stuff that's specific to your desires, but understand what you want from a character and we'll make the mechanics fit.
May I ask a question?
Sure.
In some games,
Sam's already said it.
He's already done. That's great.
think how done I feel. I'm 97 years old.
You're doing this to yourself.
Yes. In some games, the players, the characters meet for the first time, but are we like a crew?
The understanding here will be you all know each other. You've interacted in maybe other circles, depending on how familiar you want your character to be with Candela. But you will all have known of each other, but this circle has never existed before this moment.
Oh.
Is that how it works in the lore of the world? That sometimes you're with one circle for like 10 years and then you get moved to another?
Yeah, I mean, my understanding of Candela, and we have the people that made the game right off camera, but they're not allowed to fucking show up. So what I say is true forever right now. I think some circles do stay together and stay tight and like go on multiple adventures together. For what I want to discuss here, I think it's important that you all have connection to each other, but you've never experienced like this kind of synergy. So there are still things to discover about each other, and there are still things, but there's still like enough connective tissue that you're like, I don't have to introduce everything about my character in minute 1. Mm-hmm. Like there is some knowledge of how people work and assumptions that can be made because again, we've got 3 episodes. I guess we'll talk about this really quick, the tempo of everything. We've got 3 episodes. They are a month apart. And that means we have a beautiful audience that's going to forget 90% of the shit from episode to episode. So there's going to be like some interesting ideas. I would like you to think about these, at least for your characters, as like a 3-act structure. But know that like I want you to come out strong with what your character's deal is by the end of the first episode. Episode 2, we heighten and get into like the high drama of what your arcs are, and 3 is our like resolution for all of that. So knowing that secrets are fun and interesting, but especially in RPGs, they're only as fun as they can be once people know, once the audience knows, and once you have to wrestle with what it means for yourself to be known and laid bare.
Pull that ripcord.
Pull the ripcord. Please do not sit on fun secrets forever. As we're building characters, you will be sharing those secrets with me. Share what you want with the group. We'll have one-on-one moments where you share them with me, and I will always be there by your side to be like, all right, time to like throw that next gear, because it's only as interesting as what comes next because of what's happened.
My secret is that I hit all of Ashley's characters in every medium.
Does that mean that my over exists within Candela?
Yes.
It's all fake people and then me.
You're the only real one.
She's too talky.
I don't truck with her.
Gab.
I don't truck with her is the cutest old dance team. I love Ancient Liam.
She's quite good in that game. If you haven't played.
Oh, stop.
Still hate it.
The hair toss was very good, by the way. Amazing.
I haven't had hair for very long, so I'm like really luxuriating it. Yeah, it's beautiful.
Any questions about this first thing before I jump into tone? No? Great. All right, the tone for this. We are all very funny people, and no one is more sort of in the CR canon. I think I am the goofiest well, no, that's Sam. Second goofiest game runner here. But the tone has to be dark. This is a lethal system and a serious world. And it's fun to have fun, and you can't live in horror and tension forever without that off-gassing by making jokes. Not saying that that's not a part of it, and I don't want that. But if you do not take this world seriously, if you don't take the stakes, and if you don't take the NPCs and their perspective and their rationality and reasonability seriously, this will shoot our story in the water. So I don't mean to lecture, but this is one of those games where you have to hold the tone. You have to be here and care as much about what you're doing and what the world is doing back to you. Just more so than other games. This has to be grounded. Magic is rare, and the things that you're dealing with are beyond most people's ken, and is unlike in Dungeons and Dragons where you're yeah, I just fucking do magic. Here's a fireball. The existence of phenomena in this world is terrifying to most people, and lethal not only to the people that are affected by it, but to the world itself. And we'll get more into that as I talk a little bit more about the theme and what my sort of top-down idea about what the sort of meta story will be is. So yeah, actions have consequences. I will be a little consequence monster, and the people that you are going to interact with are reasonable and grounded. So if you come in with some big ass Looney Tune energy, I'm going to bump in a way that I hope you understand is not me not enjoying a fun moment or a fun choice. And even if you don't see me curve you away from it, know that me reacting seriously or with derision or dismissal is me trying to, it's fidelity for the world and not a reaction from a GM to the players. So, but
no goofs.
Yeah,
No.
do not have fun.
No goofs.
No fun.
You can have goofs and you can have fun, but just know that if I bump, unless I pull you off to the side and say something later, when we shut it down.
Oh my god, that's my nightmare.
I've truly,
Ashley, can I see you for a second?
I've never done that. I don't think I will need to, but there have been times where I've run games where I'm playing the bummer in the world. Then I'm please don't take this personally. I'm being the world, and I don't hate what you guys are putting out there. So I just wanted to flag that early.
I think if you go in with the intention to play serious, there will still be 10 to 15% of
100%.
tomfoolery, because that's the nature of it. But
Exactly.
but if you go in trying to be hilarious, then
Yes.
it will break
Yep.
the
And
shit.
I'm only adding that extra thing because I haven't played with or haven't run for most of you.
It's for me. She's saying it for me.
I should never
Hey.
put both of you in the same
So
room.
when we talk about the pulling someone off the side, Sam, I lock it in.
She said, those whole speech is for me.
I've been trying so hard not to make eye contact with you. But there's always conversations about tone up top, so that's the big one. Yeah, we've talked a little bit about tempo and theming. for me, the sort of arc words for this, or at least as I'm planning now, all of this stays very nebulous until we figure out what everyone's characters are, and then the actual story gets written around the characters. But what I've walked in with it today is that idea of like old wounds, untreated, will fester. About the things that you covered over in a moment of tension or a moment of crisis, but you never went back and healed it. And those can be like physical wounds. Like there's so much in the way this game feels as a player, where you are taking marks and giving yourself scars and using those scars to treat like your array of abilities. Like how does a scar change who you are as a person? So really leaning into that, and not only for your characters, but like what is New Fair's relationship to both its recent past and its ancient history, Old Fair, things that we've talked about a little bit before. Like this is a city that was built on top of a place of phenomenal power that destroyed itself, that was left alone and sort of treated with that radioactive, like Pripyat, nuclear meltdown distance until it became no longer tenable to stay away. New Fair came about because people went, we have to go somewhere. And that was driven by war and by politics and all of those things. But if you don't treat the underlying problem, the radiation, both real in the like magic and the bleed and all of the like mystical shit in the world that we'll be dealing with through Candela, but also just like the psychic trauma of a place that was destroyed, but was abandoned for so long that we never learned the lessons, that those lessons must be borne out. Someone has to facilitate that healing, or you start to make the same kind of problems all over again. And as the world advances in technology, as you sort of live in that float post-war, you have to learn the lessons. Someone has to learn the lesson. Someone has to facilitate that healing, or the world will collapse. So that's kind of where I'm sitting and thinking right now. And that idea that like injustice, like the acknowledgement of injustice, the acknowledgement of past wrongs and past wounds and past scars is not analogous to restitution. So yeah, going back and healing old wounds. So that's sort of the arc words I would like you to think about as we go into our character gen. Does anyone have any questions? I've talked for a very long time.
It's great.
Oh, thanks. Cool. Okay. We'll get into character gen. I know some of you have already like picked playbooks, picked your roles, and have some ideas about character. We'll do sort of character gen as a group, and I will throw up, in the event that someone wants a fun secret about their character that would be sort of pinged by their catalyst or question for the group, please give the answer that you have given to Candela. There's no way that all of you interacting with Candela Obscura have not been asked overtly the questions in your catalyst in question. Like, what happened to you to alert you to this world, to all the things unseen, to phenomena, to the thinning, to the flare? And why are you here? Now, if it's not your truth, we'll discuss that one-on-one. But there is a party line that you've been giving for long enough that it would be second nature. So I would ask that you give that to the group, because that's what they would know about you. And then if you have any secrets you want to reveal, you can keep those for the one-on-one. Not saying you have to have it, but if you do, that's the space. Don't feel the need to like throw it all out there if you don't want to. Now, if you want to, you can always say, like, here's my character secret. I want the table to know because I want everyone to play with the secret. That's great. I just want to give you two options so you don't feel compelled to be like, well, I have this weird thing and I want it to come out and I want it to be a little surprise for everyone. Totally fine. Fucking lie. So that's good. So yeah, let's go ahead and talk about character pitches. I'm gonna start with Sam.
I got nothing. Don't start with me.
Incredible. I'm gonna start with Noshir.
Okay.
Any ideas on the playbook you want?
No, I feel like the character I'm interested in playing could field a couple of different disciplines. So I'd love your help in maybe guiding me on where I'd be the most useful. Okay, so...
Damn, he's already got like 3 pages. She's got like
Oh, did you not do like a full 5 sheet or like a full essay?
Where's your Pinterest board?
Where's your Pinterest board,
I have
Sam?
a whole Pinterest
I have a Pinterest board.
It's not about this game. It's for a kitchen remodel.
Yeah.
This is why Noshir's rolls are all excellent.
It's true.
My Asian sister not doing her homework. I'm shocked and horrified for you.
Laugh at that, Sam. You simply cannot. You simply
I don't
cannot.
know what's going on.
He knows. He knows. So I guess I'll start with a nursery rhyme.
Ooh.
Mother Mercy, ensconced in white, tends the hungry day and night. Loving mother to the poor, dare not enter through her door. Mind this verse, lest you should meet. Please mind her smile, and mind her teeth. Your name is known to me, Great Ma. Now unbind us from tooth and claw.
Dang.
This and many other sort of nursery rhymes and lullabies were the way that our mother, Vimala Savarimuthu, would lull me and my twin sister Adhika to sleep. Vimala, as anyone in the New Fair Lands knows, was a very famous archaeologist.
I knew that.
Exhibit A. She came to academic prominence with the discovery of one of the largest, most intact caches of old fair remnants ever found. And from that, her academic celebrity sort of skyrocketed, and she ended up traveling and doing numerous expeditions leading digs in the faraways. At night, she would ask to put us down with those nursery rhymes, and I was 10 at that time, practically an adult as far as I'm concerned. I did not have need for lullabies, and yet she insisted. And more importantly, she insisted that my twin sister and I sing them back. One night, trying to get one up on my, I will happily admit, smarter sister, I wrote it down to study, and the anger that my mother met me with was something I will never forget. She burned the paper and told me explicitly that these are rhymes to be told by mouth and never to be seen by the eye. I didn't understand at the time what she was saying. I do now, unfortunately. Many nights she'd go walking on the grounds of the estate, in the dark, by herself. And if I looked out my bedroom window, I would see, on occasion, a bold glow light the tree line and then suddenly disappear. And I came to understand that I wouldn't see my mother for weeks. And then, a month later, still no sign of her. 2 months later, no sign. It was my sister who found her. An abandoned well at the edge of the tree line, far at the edges of our estate. She came back, covered in dirt, mud, her hands torn, screaming about mother, and a buzzing. I didn't understand what she was saying, and my father kept arguing that she was simply being hysterical. But I knew something was gravely wrong, and my father did not seem surprised. He sat and watched the clock, and after thinking for 10 minutes, called our business manager. And then he waited 30 more minutes, and then called the fire and rescue brigade. They came with ladders and ropes. The well was abandoned, 30, 40 feet deep at the least. And when we arrived, we found ourselves in a swamp, ankle deep in blood. Blood was welling up, poor choice of words, over the stones. And all of a sudden there was a great roar that shook the trees, and the blood violently receded. And as we heard that rushing sound, there was a sudden glow of light from inside the well, and then nothing. And we were left with essentially a marshland, scattered bits of clothing and bone, but almost nothing to go by. A medical examiner came back with a report that was rather scant. The blood was not human and didn't match any fauna that he had record of. The bones were too little and too few to determine gender. However, in the margins were notes about what looked to be the indication of gnawing from human teeth. And so, my mother was declared missing. I would take long walks, trying to reason with what had happened, and one day, amidst the mud and blood, found the broken remnants of what must have been her collar, torn and shredded. And I knew that something was terribly wrong. My sister never recovered. She wouldn't eat, she wouldn't sleep. The halls echoed with her cries. And my father resorted to sedating her. And then finally introduced us to a nun, Sister Rahema, who would be looking after her and was now in charge of her care. Sister Rahema was head to toe covered in a white robe with a heavy cowl that always hid her face. Large, ornate porcelain buttons alternating from her high collar all the way to the floor. And I don't know how I knew this, but I knew that I was staring at the most beautiful woman I have ever seen. And it stirred something in me that made me feel ashamed, if I am honest. I determined from that moment on that I would never leave Article alone. And so the next day, when she went to do her gardening, I decided to follow. I kept my distance. As the sun rose, they crossed into the forest. And as the sun was setting, she was still moving. I didn't realize how far she was going, and I hadn't packed a thing. I kept an eye on their lanterns, and shortly after the lights went out, and I was left stumbling in the dark. Eventually, I heard a tinging sound and tried to trace it with my ears, and then found myself falling probably about 20 feet and landing on a hard slab of stone. My sister was there, digging. And even in the scant light, I could see that her hands were raw. I called to her and she said nothing. I got up and shook her and realized that her eyes were open, but she was unseeing, digging at a feverish pace. And then I heard this buzzing sound and turned up to see Sister Rahema at the lip of the pit. And in that moment, Audica came to life. She embraced me and turned to Sister Rahema and said, "You see, I told you he would come." I looked to the sister and then heard in my head, 2 to make the key. And the stone underneath me started to move. I was terrified and tried to run out of the pit, and my sister fought me. I didn't mean to, but I kicked her, and when she fell, she hit her head. And upon rising, seemed as if she had come out of a dream. And a look of such regret and horror came over her face. She screamed at me to run. And the next thing I knew, Rahema was holding me fast. And before I could think of what to do, my sister cried out, "Your name is known to me," and before she could finish the phrase, Rahema took a clawed hand and ripped out her tongue. I had heard that nursery rhyme so many times. It came to me unbidden, and in a panic I screamed, "Your name is known to me, Great Maw. Now unbind me from tooth and claw." And as I did so, the porcelain buttons on her robe opened to reveal a massive jaw. And I saw a look on my sister's face and realized that I had said it wrong. The line is now unbind us. And in my fear, I called it only for myself. A horde of locusts exploded out of Rahma's mouth and enveloped my sister. I tried to stop her, and she struck me in the side and sent me flying, and that was the last I remembered. I woke up to a grisly gash down my side, part of a claw still embedded in my bone. From that moment on, I've dedicated myself to finding out more about this creature, Ma, and what she has done to my sister. I'm now a professor of archaeology myself, following in my mother's footsteps. She has left us with an amazing fortune, which I have used freely. And I think many in the academic circles would consider me a fop. And that is fine. Let them think what they want to think. The more I've learned, I've started to hear about this organization, Candela Obscura. Whispers and murmurings. My mother had been given a choice. The relics she was given would save her life and allow her time with us, and in exchange, she would work for Nufair and the powers that be. It was now certain that agents of the Otherwhere had already extracted information on the dynamo and hydroelectric power. Electric supremacy was no longer ours for the taking. The only way we would survive a second assault was a preemptive strike of magnificent power, a show of tremendous force. And the only thing that would do that was found in these ancient relics. And so my mother was quested with finding the weapons that would give us that edge. And I don't think she really had a choice. I'm driven now to find my sister, learn more about and destroy this spirit known as Ma, who I've now learned is a creature born from famine and starving children, locusts, and starvation. In corporeal form, when she feeds the hungry, she feeds them empty sustenance and then draws that life force. She gave that to my sister, and that is how she survived. Because she needed her to bring me, the twins, to unlock something I don't understand. So I've joined Candela Obscura in an effort to uncover many secrets.
I don't want to go anymore. That was so good.
That was so good.
Heck.
Well, it's all downhill from here.
Yeah, God damn it.
Can I not go next?
I thought maybe my guy could maybe like be named Orville.
It makes
Gosh,
popcorn.
that was so cool.
That was so incredible.
Oh my God.
I apologize it was so long.
Oh,
No.
never apologize. Again, we talked about this a little bit before. Give me as much as you want to give. It is for me to like establish pace and make sure that like spotlight is being moved adequately. And if I like something, goddamn it, we're gonna stay with it. These cameras will run until I say stop. It's 3 episodes, but they can be as long as they want to be. We'll be here for days. That was gorgeous.
Stirring, yes.
Yeah,
amazing.
that is stunning.
I'm going to give you less.
Give me nothing. Yeah, that's phenomenal. We'll get into it a bit on our one-on-one because I have a lot of fun juice back in that direction because, yeah, there's so many questions around someone that has been in proximity to so much. Like most people experience a weird thing in their life that their brain will work hard for maybe an hour to come up with enough of a reason to forget it happened. And then there's 0.1% of the population that goes, I cannot explain this another way. And that's who Candela comes and finds. And then there is what you went through, which is being raised in proximity to great and horrifying workings of the world and the truth of this place. So to come finally as an adult so fully, like, not understanding, but with eyes a little less foggy, like less foggy than most, is just that's a very fun point of entry. And as much, I'm obsessed with Old Fair, so we're gonna have a lot of fun. It feels so fucking weird to be like, cool, I think you should be the professor. Just to kind of get it back to mechanics, but fuck mechanics.
Works for me.
Yeah, I think the professor, works really well, but there's definitely something I want to play in around conversations around the nature of your study, that maybe there's some mechanics from this, like a slink roll, that might also be applicable. I want to hear what the rest of the group is kind of thinking, but I think there's some fun mods too. I am a professor in the way that like Batman is like a foppy businessman. And like, what's the version of you that's out in the world, a professor? What are you to yourself in your own heart might be reflected differently in the mechanics, but that's really cool. Well, why don't you sit fucking tight, because you gotta go next. I'm so sorry.
Oh my God.
It's okay. Zero pressure. Just tell me what you're thinking about a character.
A little pressure. I just have one idea. That I kind of want to give you power to fuck with my character.
Cool.
Which I might totally regret doing. But basically, so I pulled Doctor.
Yeah.
Because I basically want to do like a Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde thing. Ooh. So I kind of want to do like, Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde are like the Hulk, where basically there's like another entity that's like taking up half of the space up here. And so I kind of want to give you the power to decide when it comes out or if it comes out. So I don't know exactly how that works mechanically, but like if I have to do checks to see if I can calm myself down, if I have, or whatever. But basically that I would be struggling between, but I don't know if that gets so complicated. Like, do I need a different sheet for when, which one's bad, Jekyll or Hyde? I never remember. They both sound scary.
Hyde.
Oh, shit.
Don't leave for a second.
Why, Mr. Hyde?
If you want to play in a world where it is very like RNG driven, we can figure out a fun mechanic to be like, how's it going? That like the more you fail, the closer you get to collapse into a thing. That could be very fun and involving like a bit of a spin down of, okay, this is a trigger moment for you. Roll to see if you hold on to yourself. But with every time you have to test yourself, you get closer to like a statistical likelihood that it will happen.
I wonder if we could do a thing where like, if I fail, I become a monster then you control.
Whoa.
So here's the thing. I love being a monster. But I also love letting people be a monster.
Yeah.
So if you want me to be a monster, I'll happily do it. But if you want to experience some of that like untethering from normal, like there's something very cool in the fact that like this is Critical Role giving us a new world and a new system and a new context and a new idea of what kind of stories we can tell. And I think there's fun, like there's a fun space to play here with like what the role of a player is and what the role of a GM is. Like I'm here to facilitate a story, but I'm also here to empower you to tell the kind of story you want to tell. And if that is villainous and very PvP driven, like I'll sit here and be a fucking referee if you want to go and be a big baddie. Like we can be that villain together. I can put it in your hands, but we can come up with something that allows you to like feel empowered by that switch and just know I love PvP. I'll be rooting for you the whole time. Like, fucking kill them. Aim for Sam. Yes.
So we would come up with like stats for my monstie.
100%. Yeah. So I think I'm going to take it and say it's not going to be a playbook. It's going to be like a monster stat.
Great.
Cool.
Great.
I will end you, Burch.
I'll fucking come for you, Leon.
I want the body count that you've got in this world Goals. A dream.
What did you pull? What's your sheet?
I feel like doctor.
Oh yeah, you said
Yeah.
doctor.
As my normal vibe. I don't have anywhere near as elaborate backstories for sure.
No, you're
But I
good.
feel like I tried to. The basic idea being that, like, at some point I tried some sort of less than not ethical, but less than safe, I guess, scientific medical experimentation
Nice.
on myself, and it went awry.
Yeah.
And so I'm still a doctor, and I think playing into that kind of idea is fun. That I heal in some cases and then destroy in others.
I love that.
Your nose and throat doctor?
Yeah. And I'm a gynecologist, actually.
My question for you, sort of like as you were building this doc, how aware are you of your monstrous counterpart?
Like, do I...
Like, do you know when you break bad, or is it just sort of
Yes.
like, and then I went to sleep and then I woke up and there's blood, but whatever, I'm a doctor.
I think it maybe... I think would be more interesting for me maybe if it's a bit more Hulk-esque,
Yeah.
so that I am aware that I'm going to break bad.
Vibes.
I'm trying to avoid breaking bad, and it's probably not fun if I don't break bad, so there should be some
it's
sort of...
gonna happen.
Yeah, it's going to happen. Great, okay.
Here's the thing about making it a like mechanical thing is there's always a universe in which the mechanics fail. So
Right.
We'll come up with like a good buzzer when I'm like, fuck a die, it happens.
Yeah, right. Okay, good. So I think I'm like really, so I'm constantly on edge. I'm trying to keep it in check.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Then I guess this is sort of the thing to think about. You don't have to answer now. God, so many of these questions are like, come up with a really foundational thing, like a pillar of personality in this moment. But just, like thinking of what does Candela think about you? Like, is it the Hulk in the Avengers where they're like, we understand sometimes it gets real rough, big guy, but like, we believe in you? Or is it like, either you work with us or you are underground? Like, what do you
think your character would think of it?
Well, I think you'd be fascinating. And I'd probably look through ancient lore to see if there are stories similar to the lycanthrope and other afflictions that could help answer where your sickness comes from. There might even be artifacts that can help establish some level of control for you.
So so you'd be a bit more amenable to having me around. I don't know.
I mean,
what
I'm
these
going
guys
to wheel you around in the Hannibal Lecter
fun.
all the time. All the time.
Just get you a little hug suit. It's great.
Hug suit.
Oh, I love that. Sweet. That's super fun. Yeah, we can come back. Like, don't worry. Like, keep ideating on it. It's a great idea, and
Great.
yeah, we'll come up with custom mechanics for that because that's very fun.
I feel like it would be a thing where it's maybe an anxiety trigger. So
Yeah.
as opposed to like a Hulk where I get angry and then it
Yeah.
happens, that it's like pardon me for using Cthulhu things, but if I fail too many sanity checks or
Yeah.
something, it happens.
I love that.
So then it becomes like I'm a cornered animal.
Yeah.
So it's not like, it's not destruction for destruction's sake, but it's like I feel like I'm under attack and it doesn't matter who's in
Yeah.
the way kind of thing.
I would simply like proffer considering anxiety or like the Cthulhu problem of it all
Yeah.
of like if it is stress incurred by spooky shit, why are you with Candela?
Sure.
So it's one of those things of like, yeah, come up with a good reason. If anxiety and like proximity to weirdness is the trigger, then why are you forced to stay with Candela? Or if it's a little more like I'm here with Candela because we're working together cooperatively and this is like of my own volition, then what about those triggers do you think you have a handle on? That becomes the button that I get to press.
Got it.
Can I,
Yeah.
is Candela by its nature good?
What a fun question.
Like almost, I mean,
Candela,
you join us and maybe we have a cure for you, but
So
you better
yeah.
dance,
Right.
the
whatever.
thing about secret societies. Now we're going to get into like how I feel about secret societies, which is when you make it a secret and that's a part of it, there is that idea that like they are filling a need in this world. Like weird shit happens, thinnings happen, the flare is real and they are handling it. But something about but we're going to try to keep it quiet in order to make sure people don't panic. That also like sort of circularly creates a system where there is a portion of the population that is engaging with and in proximity to very weird shit and doesn't know that what they're experiencing is real and valid because there isn't someone going, yeah, that is real, because they're all keeping it on wraps. So there's goodness to Candela because they're solving problems and putting their lives on the line to like create peace and safety in the world and handle these things that are so big and so crazy. There are problems of philosophy of like, is it important to like, because we've got other esoteric organizations with different ideas about like everyone should know about all of this all the time. And yeah, if you are several years out of a world war, you're like, no, that makes more wars because now there's a new resource that can and will be weaponized. Like there's a good reason for all of these organizations to feel the way they feel and how you want to feel about Candela. Let's talk about that if you have an opinion, because I can use that to form how Candela feels to you as you move through these assignments. So my answer is they're good. And it's the way they go about it is not bad, but has holes to it. So lean in as much as you want to lean in. Mm-hmm. I'm here to shake pillars. When they asked me to come do this, I was like, how much can I rock the foundation of your book? And they didn't.
Samson.
They still let me be here. So let's go. Liam, would you like to go?
All right, so
Did you forget for a second?
I did! I thought it was going to talk normal.
I'm going to speak in broad terms. I don't have
For sure.
an intricate story, but I have ideas, and Sam and I are going to be a bit of a package, but we're working it out.
Oh boy.
Oh, you are?
I know.
Something out.
We're working something. We don't
I'm
I
gonna-
don't know what yet.
I'm going to
I'll
warn
be
you.
right in the middle.
Project a little more than you think you need to, especially when the music's going. It gets a little quiet over here.
Okay. So, I would like to play with the idea that I've been part of Candela for a very long time. Obviously, the longest in this group. I'm going to play somewhere between 85 and 95, maybe even as old as 100 years old. That might be too old if we're going to be running through caves or some shit.
But
Yeah,
85 is fine.
I would like to be in a wheelchair.
All right.
Okay, so I'm tinkering with some version of the occultist, I believe, and that is because when I was my involvement in Candela is has become a bit of a family tradition. When I was a boy, and I need help crafting what this origin event was, but I think that I was traveling with my parents on a sea vessel of some sort, and there was an event, and there were many people on this ship, and my father, when this event was triggered, shielded me, and the only two survivors on the ship were my father and myself. I was probably 15 or 16 at this, maybe 10. This is what I'm saying, it's a work in progress.
You were an age?
Yes. No older than 16, somewhere between 10 and 16. And I think the event was triggered by an individual or individuals on the ship. And I think that this is totally different from our real world. There's a lot of corruption in this society. And I think whatever happened on that ship was explicitly to grind up regular folk for some purpose. And through a fluke, my father and I survived, but my mother died on that ship. So while it was, it hit everyone, it was personal. It was very personal, obviously. And so it filled my father and even me at that young age with drive and purpose to both understand the things that were done that day and seem to have existed here in Fairville? Fairtown.
Fairville.
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 I like Fairtown better.
And Oldie Town as well.
She said Fairville.
Yes.
I'm getting
Yes.
a horn. Gotta get him a horn.
Yeah.
What?
Well, the question is, was it New Fair where you were there, or is it Old Fair because you're old as shit?
It was New Fair.
God dang.
Yes,
How old,
yes.
how old is Old Fair?
It's
Thousands
like
of years
ago.
Yes,
I'm making
yes.
a fun little goof.
So our lives became filled with the purpose of dealing with corruption in positions of power that so many respect without question. But you can't openly go to war. That's hard to do. And then also understanding the radiation and all the things that happen. And since I've been part of Candela for so long, I once a decade I run into something akin to the story this gentleman shared at the table. It's not every week, but shit happens here. Anyway, eventually my father passed on, and family business, and for a while my brother and I also worked together for a time. Work on that. Maybe he was either killed or retired because it was too intense. And then I started my own family, and now I travel with, and this is something we're working out, my son or grandson. I'm not sure
Holy
which.
crap.
That's so
Depending on the
cute.
age.
Maybe grandson.
Yes,
Yeah.
depending on how old you want
You're
to be.
super old. So
He's 60.
if I'm your son, I'm already like
That's
retirement
so
age.
cute. Just too fucking old.
Which I can dial it a little younger. I could do 85.
So it's like 3 wheelchairs.
God dang.
No one's moving under their own power.
Maybe grandson, and then I can be like mid-30s or something, right? Is that how the math works?
Yeah.
That works. Sounds about right.
That's possible. That's possible.
I have a question for you. And this has nothing to do with like later knowledge or your time with Candela. When whatever happened on that ship happened, did it work? Whatever great working that was it successful?
Yes, I think that we were unnoticed and discarded.
No.
How do you?
You survived.
Yes.
Whatever that thing was, the
Yes.
like great swallowing of humanity in order for something to occur. Did it work? Do you feel like, oh, I somehow skirted whatever happened, but whatever happened fucking happened.
Yes, like a ship went down and a door was open, something along those lines.
See? Good to know.
And I probably, as a boy, I remember like a man or a woman orchestrating it.
How serious would you say? Sorry. We don't have to connect.
I'm very serious.
Medium serious?
And I think occultist because I've spent years studying and trying to harness those things in a small way, in my own right, to help fight fire with fire, to a degree.
What are you worried about coming?
Say again?
What are you worried about coming? Like the idea of fighting fire with fire.
Oh,
What fire do you feel the need to try to put out? And you don't have to answer that now.
okay.
I love it here. Okay. Incredible. Okay. Is there anything else interesting you want to share about the world's oldest man?
My name is Cosmo.
Cosmo!
He's back.
But
He's
I
back,
I
baby.
think I want to
Welcome.
noodle on it more with you alone.
Okay.
Cosmo.
Are we allowed to ask each other questions?
Hanabi.
Like, when you say your father shielded you from the event, is that because he has experience with this sort of phenomena, or as a father, he simply like threw himself in
Yes.
front of you, kind of?
I will say,
I like
if
the second
anyone
one.
asks a question you don't want to answer to, you could just say,
Yeah.
I honestly think that needs to be noodled out a bit. I'm not sure,
Yeah.
but definitely the latter, where it was a father's instincts, which probably led to my mother not making it.
hey, can someone have a mom alive, please? We cannot have a Disney. Just a bunch of Disney princesses, like, and then my mother died. And then I became what I am.
Your Beauty and the Beast.
Yes.
That's right.
Surprise, we're playing Queen by Midnight, motherfuckers. Pick your princess. Anything else you want us to know as you're like beginning to solidify?
You said occultist?
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Which one? Oh wait, that was.
Oh,
That's
A
a
cult
weird.
is
Oh,
one
okay,
of
okay,
the
that's
wanna be
units.
medium then?
Okay.
oh,
And I might want to
Son?
Oh yeah.
I,
Oh, 100%.
homebrew a little bit as well.
I don't know if I want to follow in this.
There's no way to print out a
Grandpa
second
dearest.
sheet, so you'll have to get something.
No, yeah, I think.
No, feel free.
What are you?
And again,
Magician.
these rolls are suggestions, and we can Frankenstein some stuff together.
Well, yeah, you're lugging around that wheelchair all the time.
Yeah,
I'm the muscle.
yeah, maybe.
Made of cast iron.
It's like that Conan the Barbarian.
Amazing. All right,
Cosmo.
Gina.
Yes. Hello. Okay. Man, I don't know. I've come up with a kind of a basic kind of thing, and
Yeah.
I'm thinking maybe a magician.
Rough
My character, I have not figured out a first name yet, but her
Oh,
last
we're not
name.
worried about names yet.
Okay. She's about in her mid 40s, sharply dressed. I mean, gorgeous, very luxurious, and she's the owner of the Cat's Eye Casino. Now, this casino is, I mean, bright lights, gorgeous. However, there is also a membership club at the casino. There's rumors about things that go on behind the velvet curtains, beautiful women, rich elites that have memberships.
Oh, hello.
And the only way that you can join this club is if you are referred by at least two other members. She stands at 5'7", very lavish. She comes from money, obviously. She's an owner of a casino. However, her origins were she came from a land many seas away, from a small fishing village. It was a very modest life. Her father was a fisherman. And she would help out around the house whenever she can. Sometimes go out to the docks and wait for her father to return from work. And she remembered hearing stories from neighbors, gossip from neighbors about how my son went to the new world and made something out of himself. My uncle went, my daughter went, and there was always rumors and talks about this new world. And one day her parents decided to make a plan to sail to this new world, make something out of themselves or give her a future. So the day that they were to set off to sea, she kneels in the sand and she prays to the gods of the sea that this village worships. This is the religion that she was raised on. And she prayed for bountiful wealth in the new world and safe passage, something to make this trip worth it, to find the riches that her family has always wanted. One night at sea, is it starting to sound familiar?
There were some very pointed.
Yeah.
Like as you were talking, we were like, "Oh, it's not an oh." I was like, "Oh, thank you." Everyone's scattered. It's
Overlap.
Like, great. The glass sea, good. The oceans, fuck.
One night at sea, of course, there is always a storm. It's a treacherous storm. Her father was the captain of this small fishing boat. The waves were ripping this boat apart. She was 10 years old. She was a small girl. And she remembers this huge wave coming, just crashing into the boat, sending both her parents overboard. She clawed her way to the side of the boat and looked into the water, screaming for her parents. And the last thing she saw was her father being pulled into the inky black waters before another wave crashed into the boat, knocked her over. She fell to the ground, knocked her head unconscious. She somehow still made it to Newfair. But she was alone. She was just this child alone that washed ashore. She she grew up, she became a street urchin, stealing when she can, and she was a little street urchin in the Red Lamp. And she remembered sitting on the curb and just seeing all these gorgeous women walking by with fur coats and holding on to the elbows of rich elite men. And she remembers smelling their perfume when they walked by, and she wanted to be like them so bad. Every night in her little makeshift tent, she would practice her speech to learn how to speak more ladylike, to become a more dainty woman. And she saw how these women worked, and she learned how to talk her way in or out of anything. She was a charmer. She became so good at it. And I haven't figured out how yet, but eventually, she got so good at it, she rubbed elbows with the right people, and built her way into owning her own casino. And basically a brothel behind the velvet ropes.
That was what the red light was for.
Yeah. And the girls that she works with, she protects them fiercely. You do not disrespect my girls. They are girls that she would take in from the streets. There are girls that she knew when they were all living out in the streets. She took very good care of them.
So everyone got dead parents?
Yeah, right?
My question,
goose, no parents.
no goose, no parents. Someone's gotta have a mom. It's you or you. Please have a fucking mother.
My father died of natural causes.
Mom got Ashley's trigger.
Now,
Oh, God!
Well, at this rate, you'll never turn. Not a mother to be fucking seen.
I will throw in, ship is not necessary.
No,
So
I
if you
love
want it,
Let me
if
be
it
very
helps
clear.
you, great. If you don't
You
want
said
it,
that, I went, we're gonna be okay.
Excellent.
Yeah.
all right.
The ocean is interesting now. Let's go. That's very cool.
Got it.
Fuck yeah.
I think I'm a merman.
Okay, well, gonna go big, vociferous, absolutely not. Try again.
I don't really know. I'm coming to this with the most blank slate.
Cool.
Here's some. I'll just throw out some ideas,
Yeah.
and we can see what we roll with. I see that we have no muscle in the group, so that's a thing.
Teals.
So something that popped into my head was maybe someone who is grappling with a lot of anger issues, like maybe good old Cosmo's grandson over here was a bit of a shit and hurt some people, maybe some with some shady dealings, and was thrown in the clink, thrown in the slammer for a little while, and possibly because of some strings that the old man pulled, they released me early to sort of under his supervision, if I would sort of help and join him in his Candela work or whatever.
Are you giving me my Suicide Squad?
Oh, is that what this is?
Thank you, sir. Yeah, good.
So I'm like, part of the condition of my release was I had to like take care of him and make sure that he's okay. And so maybe I resented that at first, or still do. But I also have all this misplaced anger and rage, and I like to hit things. So this gives me an outlet to do that. Also occurred to me that maybe in one of our first sort of, I don't know, are they called missions?
Assignments.
Maybe I thought it was all sort of a crock of shit, and I didn't know what this guy was all about. And then I I get attacked by something and it fucks me up. Maybe I have a big scar. Who knows?
Is it like a nasty scar or like a hot
scar?
So right over the eye.
So immediate.
No
I know
hesitation.
The only note I'm gonna write.
It's always right over the eye. That's the hot scar.
Yeah.
Don't
of
give it
course.
merman. It's
Like it
definitely
goes through the eyebrow like a little
Oh,
bit.
yeah.
Just right there.
I'm just drawing that now and not taking a note.
This may be Sam's first character who's over 4 feet tall and hot.
Excuse me, this is loquacious erasure and I will not have it. That's my husband.
But now maybe there's an added element of revenge. Want to figure out who the fuck that was that fucked me up and get him back or get them back. But I think what Liam and I were talking about a little bit was I don't think ours is a great relationship.
Is it rude to try to pitch you something?
Pitch.
Oh,
I really
okay.
came in here with a big question mark. So
Okay, great.
anything.
I wonder if the anger could come from, like, if Liam's character has been in this.
His name is Cosmo.
I'm sorry, Cosmo. If Cosmo has been in this.
I don't care for your acting, but your writing is sublime.
Can we work this into a bit somehow?
I love it. I love it here.
Just rag on me as a doctor when we start, and I'll know what you're saying. But if you have been involved in Candela since time immemorial, since the Big Bang, basically, because of how old you are,
50 years.
like
Older than Caesar's.
if you should have gotten out of the game at some point, because it's dangerous. You had a family, and you had a moment that you could have left, and you didn't, and that impacted Sonny Boy over here, and that's where the anger comes from.
Like my mom's dead? He was farting around in Candela, and it spilled over into his home life, and it killed my mom.
You seem really excited about it.
Is his mom your daughter?
But I lost you.
And I say yes.
Oh, yeah.
I'm gonna write yeah.
Wouldn't that make sense? If I'm his grandson, that would make...
No, it could be married in.
Oh,
it
yeah,
could have been
yes,
son.
Papa.
Father, yes, papa.
Maybe so, but you could flip it. You could do a version where I was getting ready to retire because I'm so old.
Old.
And you are in the slammer.
Yeah.
And the provision of you being released was me taking you under my wing, and then I have to keep going.
I love a Candela that's like, hey, dude, your bones are baby powder. But we need you. We need you. We even have a whole like emeritus system where you could be a lightkeeper. No, we need you in the streets. And take your absolutely awful grandson with you.
We got the oxygen tank.
Yeah.
Whip up your DNR.
Hey, we got this chair. It's so fucking heavy.
Every uniform
and we're gonna
is
wheel your
wasted.
ass into Old Fair.
I'm curious, is like Candela, because of just how it works, like, are you a believer?
That's a great question. I think maybe at the beginning of this I was not, but I've become. Seems like he knows more than me about this stuff, and I'm just sort of along for the ride.
I love a cynic. I think that's a thing that isn't built into the DNA of this, because everyone begins with that catalyst and that question. It would be really fun to have someone that's like, yes, I've had a literal brush with this, but I didn't arrive bought in the same way. So everything I will interact with will have that first layer of like, this is fucking nonsense.
Yeah.
That feels really nice and like a breath of fresh air if that's what you're leaning toward. I love
The
it.
rest of us are thick with creepy deep.
Yeah.
That does sound cool if like you guys are all
Yeah,
guys are
truly.
all diehard Candela folks, and I'm like, I mean,
Yeah, like, it's interesting the way like psychological torment works, right? Like it's almost like in believing that's actually a vulnerability, right? Because like it gives them access.
Yeah, 100%.
You know, like we
all watched
believe
the
in
skeleton
the harm,
key.
you know, yeah, like
You're
whereas
like a
a skeptic is almost like an armor of a sort,
Truly.
right? Like a resilience. That's
I love that.
Cool.
That's interesting.
I love.
Also, it makes sense that you'd be skeptical of it because your grandpa is 1,000 years old.
Yeah, you're like the only evidence.
I don't know, half of what he's saying
Yeah.
could be made up bullshit,
Yeah.
or it could just be his mind. He's losing his mind.
Doddering cosmos.
I do love this, like, you're sort of building this fun circle between the two of you of, like, you are doing this because it is, like, the condition on which your grandson can be free. And that idea that, like, why do you stay around? Why do you keep doing it? There has to be, even if the relationship is tense, if there is any relationship to speak of, you're like, well, I gotta look out for him.
Mm-hmm.
So that sense of, like, no one can really leave because you're kind of chasing the other infinitely is really fun, and that's a really fun cycle to like have come into conflict. Like, I'm here because of you. No, I'm here because of you.
Yeah.
Feels very cute.
Yeah.
If you're leaning that way.
And I'm a mermaid.
And you're a mermaid. Here's the thing, Sam.
It was him shouting at me from the
But
ocean.
maybe
I said no goose, but I've never backed off a bit. I'm gonna say, not to you, to the camera. I'm gonna turn his ass into a mermaid.
But maybe just to keep your nautical theme going, I could be a dock worker or something if you need me down by the docks.
He turned into a reverse mermaid.
Yeah, you're a wrong mermaid.
Fish top.
Fish top?
Dick out,
I
fish
was
top.
hoping like a fucked up mermaid where it's like half Sam but just like tiny little fish fins at the bottom.
What
Little
about,
gold-
has there ever been a middle mermaid?
A maid.
So
Gills and
human
scales
head,
here.
human legs,
And when
but
you-
just here.
And when you do crunches, like roe comes out.
And like, that's like good meat too.
Yeah.
Sweet tuna.
Yeah. You got that Toro tummy, baby.
Yeah.
What mechanically did you pull there?
Well, I pulled soldier, but I don't know. So
How do you feel about criminal? And we can sprinkle in
criminal
some
with
beefy
some
shit?
strength?
Yeah.
That
that.
seems
Loser.
better. Actually,
Love that.
where is criminal? Slink, detective. Oh, maybe under detective. Yeah,
He said it so slow.
yeah, because
Great.
in the book, the Slink seems like just a shyster, underworldy guy, but not necessarily muscly.
Right.
It feels
I
like
mean, for what it's
finding
worth,
a
we
little
do have a
muscle.
little bit of muscle when the doctor goes
Oh,
berserk.
that's right.
So don't
That's
feel.
not necessarily in your benefit.
That's
Yeah,
true.
that's fair. But I love the idea of criminal, and we can. I mean, how do you feel about either taking criminal for some of that, or if you want to reskin explorer? I think explorer is a really fun thing of like someone who, like, what's the nature of your like physical interactions with the world? Is it I do what I want, or is it like if I have a sense of like lawfulness? Is it like a chaotic? Are you chaotic violent or lawful violent? Because I think that's the difference between like the vibe of soldier versus
Are
explorer.
you threatening the busboy or using it only in appropriate situations?
Yeah, because I think you can make a violent soldier if you're like, I have a moral code inside my head, and in the presence of a violation of that, I'm gonna do what needs to be done.
I kind of feel like it's the like I felt like this nihilistic sort of thing.
Yeah.
Like nothing matters a little bit.
Sweet.
So maybe that's more unlawful.
You could have been a security guard at my brothel, and then
or frequent
some-
your bar.
or that.
I don't think you could get in. You seem kind of nasty
Yeah, I do.
and poor.
Yeah. So yeah, maybe I could have been security for you for a while.
And
I took something too far. And
I can certainly
Killed a
see
guy?
targeting patrons of her brothel.
Yes.
Oh my God, like a little extortion racket on the inside. Because I think there's something very interesting if cause we have talked a little bit more, just so you know, I have a little extra context. If the brothel is not widely known, then your clientele are people who are like, I know you and you know me.
very elite.
And if we ever run into each other in the daytime, we've never fucking met. And there's very fun room for like, great, that seems like an easily exploitable resource. I will be walking through like Regent Park and just be like, oh, hey, good to see you again. Unless you slide me 5, whatever monies are.
Oh yeah. Are there
What
dollars?
are our money?
What-
Help! Help! Rowan, Spencer, what's the money? Figure it out. But yeah, like if you want to be related, that's a good way to go about it. Don't worry so much about the.
bill.
You know what? Grab soldier and
I'm gonna have 3 of them.
yeah, and explorer, and we're gonna Franken build you something that feels like what you want.
Okay.
And then I think they'll just be like a separate conversation about like what the illumination keys mean then, because that's like sort of at the bottom of your page, you'll see 3 things that tell you, like you're going to want to try to check them off by the end of every session.
Oh.
And they're sort of North Stars for like how your character moves through the world.
Act bizarre.
I think you do it just by being fucking alive at your age. In defiance of Caesar, you still move. So we can build something if that seems like very stressful.
No, I mean, it already, like, soldier, the illumination keys are use violence, protect someone, act tactically. That's already pretty
Then fucking
good.
do that and we'll just reskin it.
Cool.
Delightful. Anything else you want us to know about your character as we, like, actually sit and start mechanically
His name is Cosmo Jr.
Cosmo the Third.
Oh,
CJ.
little CJ. Hold on.
Hey.
Really cute.
I like the anger thing because I feel like I'm obviously all up in here, right? So I don't even know how to interface with it. Yeah.
Bro, if you ball your fists, you'll break all the bones in your hand. I'm sorry, why am I mean
Try
about your
me.
character? Fuck around and find out.
Fuck around.
My name is Fuck Around and my grandson Find Out. We'll be here with some applesauce in a minute. This is great.
Can you work that in, please? Don't
You have to. You have
Please
to.
fall asleep
I
randomly.
won't do it that extremely.
You kind of gotta at some point. Just a pivotal moment of you giving
You're
like.
going to give the longest, most important monologue. And then in the silence, just here. Grandpa, wake up.
That's so good. I'm like, I want to change the lights, but I don't want to wake him up.
Jacques!
Perfect.
You think you're an Agatha Christie novel?
Oh my God, that's great. Amazing. Okay.
Ooh, look.
With that, let's go through. I'm going to have everyone go we're going to start with Sam, reverse order.
Yeah.
And just quickly run down the line and just out loud once what everyone's relationship to you is. Like,
Okay.
Oh,
who is blank to me is the question I want you to answer for everyone. Starting with Sam.
Hi, I'm Oscar Grimm. Cosmo Grimm is my grandfather, and he's my family, but I resent him.
She did say
Beautiful.
quickly.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. Hey, thanks so much, bud.
Madame Glask. Boy, I flip-flopped on this a bunch of times, but she is the most loyal person in my life, and I would protect her with my life. Let's say that.
Oh,
Dr. Elise Roberts.
Elsie.
We're close. Well, to be fair,
It's gonna be great.
I'm dumb.
killing your character off.
He is the meathead.
I identify with her, but in ways that maybe I'm not too proud of. We both have the same fatal flaw, and we help each other get through those dark times.
Oh, that's nice.
And Dr. Rajan Savarimutu, I hate this guy. He's just such a fucking pompous
is he
windbag.
actual enemy?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Let's get an enemy on the board. I fucking love that shit. You're like, were it not for Candela, I would deck this dude. Feels like a very
Pompous
cool.
prick.
Wait, do we know why they hate each other?
He's the
vibes.
doorman.
Okay.
He calls him Mr. Doorman. Amazing. Gina, you're up.
Call him Mr. Ballard.
Let's see. We got. Oh yes. God, it's Oscar Grimm
You
here.
can call me Carrie.
Oscar is my longtime security guard. He's probably, aside from the girls that work for me, he's probably my longest hired employee. Cosmo Grimm here is a good friend of mine that I've known for years. We have wonderful conversations together and share drinks and talk about what happenings of outside. Dr. Elsie Roberts is the doctor, the in-house doctor that we have for my girls. And
I would maybe clarify that I'm not in-house.
Oh.
I still roam about, but I do attend to
Right.
your
It's your
I stop
go-to,
by.
She stops by.
Yeah,
but
I'm your
not
go-to.
in-house.
She my telecommuting doctor.
Telecommuting. We have Zoom in this world now. Fuck you, Rowan.
It's just a mirror.
But what's the nature of the relationship? Like that is what she does for you. But how do you feel about her?
You know what? It's almost like it's just a service, and I know that she is not very happy every time she's here. Maybe always kind of has a sour face because this is beneath you. And I would believe that you wouldn't want me to tell other people that you work here for my girls.
Well, I probably see a lot of people from my old life. Well, I guess it depends on when I show up. So yeah, maybe I've bumped into like someone that I used to know at some point, and you clocked it. I could see that, and maybe you chose not to pry. So maybe I can appreciate that. But
Yeah.
I want to offer a nugget of positivity that if your relationship to your girls is as strongly positive and as protective as you say, I think there has to be even if you have clocked some internality about how she feels about the work, this is someone that is taking care of your people. And I think there should definitely be some warm feelings about that. You're the one I trust. I could get another doctor, but it's you and you do a good job and I appreciate you. And we work together both within this world and within Candela. So I just want to proffer that there should be some sort of through line of a good working relationship and a good sense between you.
I am grateful for your help.
or absolutely fuck what I said and live your life.
I'm almost prying. What was that look that you gave him? Did you know him? And you don't have to say anything. But I feel like there would be times that I would try to kind of poke and prod a little bit to get to know you.
so you appreciate me, yeah?
I do. For taking care of my girls. Yeah. Dr. Rajan. Yes?
Rajan.
Rajan.
Please hyper correct us a bunch today so we
You got
get
it.
locked in.
Rajan. Okay. Dr. Rajan. I feel like our relationship has always been somewhat transactional. You come to my office quite often, and you see my security guard, doorman.
What do I come for?
Yeah, the connections to what does he come for? What would he come for?
I know what I would come for, but I want to
Yeah.
make sure I'm not stepping on.
Because you have
you wanna do?
intimacy problems. You're not coming for my girls.
No.
We have some sort of business together. I know many powerful people.
It is a gambling den too, so
Oh, that's right.
There's also
do you
a
have a
world-
gambling problem?
I mean, it doesn't have to be a problem. It could absolutely just be this is a place to come and it's like a parlor. You're yeah, I'm here to pretend to gamble a little bit, but spend time with other rich people doing silly little games. It doesn't have to be a problem.
Yeah.
It can be a problem. Love a problem. But there's also people that are just yeah, I'm just here. This is my home poker game. Just happens to be in the Red Light District.
You guys did level 1 at UCP together and
So fuck you.
just became friends afterwards.
I know no one from my 101 class. They are dead to me now.
Yeah, I think for Rajan at least, I roll in high circles, and knowing what people don't want you to know is power, and you have that in spades. So I wouldn't be surprised if, on numerous occasions, I have solicited you and your girls to get leverage, right?
That's a fun question. Dang.
Sam's
Do you sell information on your clientele?
That's the thing. I'm trying to figure out what do I get out of this from you
Money?
because I have the money already, and
He has
discretion.
so much more.
He's got hella cash. However, that raises a very fair point. If you are known to be porous with your information, that's an interesting lever to push on. Is he the exception for some reason? If it's yes, no is also a fine answer, and a thing we can talk about in the one-on-ones.
Also, weren't you saying before that or you guys were talking about before how you're financially fine, but you're still not respected, I guess? So maybe he can get you entree to a different echelon of like
Take
respect.
it to the Met Gala.
I feel that she does not care about the respect of the upper echelon like that. She came from the streets, so she does not care about image and stuff like that. She made her money, and she sits in it happily. And she's seen what the upper echelon are like in her brothel.
Yeah.
She doesn't want to be. She doesn't care. She doesn't want to be involved in that.
What if I made the offer and you turned me down? There is honor among this particular thief, which aggravates me to no end, but, you know, interesting. A woman of your station who can't be bought.
That's fun.
You could also, don't have to, but start the story with you already having leverage on you somehow, where you are under her thumb for some reason.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, she knows your secret or something. She's the only one who does. Do you know the secret? You know
I don't
the
know.
Oh, do I know that they were
I don't
dating?
know. I don't know.
I know someone
Guess
who
we-
likes
I mean, I don't hate a world in which, like, it's not on our little list, but a good way to say, I don't know how I feel about you is to be like, you are a puzzle to me. Like, you're not, it's sort of devoid of, like, a value judgment, but, like, I don't understand you yet. And I'm trying to figure you out. Like, can you be bought? Can you be cajoled? Can you be bribed? Like, that's an acceptable relationship to be like, hey, all professional courtesy, I see you see me, we're good, but I am spending active bandwidth trying to figure you out and what you're thinking. Because you're both manipulators at your heart. So it feels fun that you're like, I haven't figured you out yet. And the more I try to figure out, I realize I am fascinated by you.
We're dancing.
Yeah, you're dancing.
That's cool.
If you want.
Fun.
dance partner.
That's definitely fun.
Oh, I love that. A little two-step. Liam.
I had some ideas while everyone was talking. So obviously, Oscar's family, which is complicated. I think that Madame Glask is my confidant in a way that no one else is.
Love that.
I'm more open and honest with her than I am with other people. I wonder if Oscar is like working at your place and also like staying.
Oh yeah,
Staying.
that's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're my
Yeah.
boss.
I have plenty of room. Yes.
And that was a favor to me. And bring you in muscle since I'm so weak.
I sleep under one of the beds that the ladies use. It's not a great.
Really good sound effect.
Thanks! I'm a voice actor now. I've been in
just-
one video game.
Yeah, congrats.
Okay, what video game?
Oh yeah, that's right.
Starfield.
Yes.
Where I sound exactly like myself in like 3 different cities.
I saw that tweet and I need to go find you.
Talking shit in technobabble. Anyway, we have to talk about me. Thanks. It's
So
just nice
cool.
that I get to be like you a little bit. Go ahead. You talk. Shut up! Let me have this.
And I thought of a dynamic for you two that helps with Oscar and his animosity, which is I think that Cosmo was lower class as a child, worked his way to middle class, and he's like an eccentric kook now who's wrapped up in mysticism and whatnot. But he's intellectual, and maybe he sees the two of you after a few years of working as sort of like the children he doesn't have, that are more like him in ways, which is difficult when his actual grandson is a rage monkey.
Blowing out your ass.
And he's sensitive to that, so it's never explicit. But he's very fond of both of you, and we're colleagues, but very fond of you both, and proud of all that you've accomplished. And he has to sort of temper it to a degree, so it's not hurtful to his actual family. But of course, he picks up on it anyway.
Poor Oscar, that must be so hard for you.
Didn't even notice it, rich guy.
I'm so happy. They have to be here. They need to be able to yell at each other like this. Good.
Maximum
Delightful.
throwing distance.
That's it. Good.
It's good.
For me,
Wait, did we get with Dr. Roberts?
Same.
Same.
Got it.
Same,
got it.
same.
Children. These are my children.
Got it.
So Oscar and I have this sort of simpatico on our rage monsters within us. So probably I would
Mine's
not.
metaphorical.
Yours is metaphorical, mine is literal. But I probably would not have I probably wouldn't have lowered myself to connect with you outside of that.
Mhm.
Maybe you know that, maybe you don't.
Doesn't matter to me.
Okay, great.
He sleeps under a brothel bed.
An active use. An active
Yeah.
use.
I don't know how low he can
That's the
possibly
best
get.
part.
That's my white noise
Yeah.
machine.
It's like being rocked to sleep.
He wakes up with spring marks on his
Scar.
But we have an unlikely friendship.
We do. Yeah, you're all right. You're all right, Doc.
You're the only person I let call me Doc.
Oh, that's cute.
I am a begrudging employee of yours, basically. So I think I take my job very seriously. I don't skimp on the care that I give your girls. I don't. I resent you, I think. Because you are technically a higher station than me now. And I feel like I've had to lower myself to being in your employ. So there's resentment there, I think. I think that for Cosmo, I bet I joined this circle in particular for your expertise and your knowledge and your breadth of experience in Candela. Because of
You
what's
gotta
going on.
talk louder when you're talking. I can't hear you.
Because of what's going on with me. And so, yeah, I feel a respect for you. Maybe some mentor-y vibes. And
And we all in this circle know about.
I was gonna ask that actually. If we want to have me being a monster, obviously you know because of our relationship.
Yep.
But I wonder if
Borrow
only
it from
certain
whoever you want to borrow it from. Yeah,
So I feel like maybe you two know, but maybe you two don't.
love that.
Interesting.
Maybe you knew something was going on with me,
Yeah.
but you never figured out exactly what it was.
Right.
I mean, it makes sense if you were like, I've been prying on an ex and I watched a noticeable drop in station and haven't figured out what happened on like a social level that caused this. That there's just like, the tidy blank of I know something is there because something happened because there's something missing.
Mhm.
It should have been obvious.
And the shock of I've had a monster care for my girls who I keep so near and dear to me this whole time. Since I don't know yet, that would be quite distressing.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, I think you guys would know.
Who knows? We know.
You know,
We know.
and Oscar.
The
I almost
family.
called you Osmo. Oscar and Cosmo know. The Grimm boys know, and that's
Grim
it.
boys.
So I
Boys
think-
Grim.
So as she is your confidant, maybe I treat you as mine.
Love that.
And you're my ex lover. I'm trying to decide. Maybe.
I'm not clingy. I'm cool.
I'm cool. I didn't spend hella resources on trying to figure out what your fucking deal is.
A lot of new suit just for this occasion, but that's
Sam.
fine.
In this world, you
Well, I'm wondering if it should be like ice cold, or if we have unfinished or unresolved feelings, or if it should be like, nah, it's done. What is your instinct?
On my behalf, I definitely feel I have unresolved feelings for you.
Okay.
But of course, I don't know how you want to respond to that.
I just hear squeaks from over there.
I'm audience member number 1. I want this.
Yeah, I think it's the same. Because we had a big explosive fight, and then that was the last of it. So yeah.
Did you own a dog and the dog went with one of you?
The dog is someone's
Cares about the
catalyst.
dog? I'll buy you a dog. Okay. I'll buy you
He
3
hates
dogs.
dogs.
He hates
I hate this guy.
musky dogs.
Oh, will they, won't they? I'll be right back.
Bring us home.
So, Elsie, my first love, and I think I've tried to look out for her the way I didn't look out for Adhika.
Yes.
But
Great.
I overreached, right, and imposed because I need to control things when I shouldn't have, and that's what pushed us away.
Beautiful. Save the ones you can.
I don't know what's wrong with her, but I know that she's been getting in trouble. So, like, headcanon, and you please, like, kibosh this at any time, like, the first time she does whatever she does, and, like, she gets caught, right? Like, I'm the reason she makes bail.
Love
you know what I mean? Like, I never talk about it, never
Got
bring it up, but, like, suddenly, like, she's free to go. I'm always trying to look out for her, but, like, you know, I'm lurking.
Yeah.
there.
It's, again, you're giving, like, Gaslamp Mr. Darcy, and I love it.
Wait, is that why he's always at my place? Because he knows Wait, no, he doesn't know that you work here yet.
Well, I wanted to throw that out, too.
Oh,
You know what?
no,
I'm gonna hold that.
Yeah, so, like, give me broad strokes,
Great.
what everyone is,
Yep.
and then we're gonna do our circle stuff really quickly, and then we're going into one-on-ones where I give you a little grilling. All right, next up, Cosmo, that was great. I don't know what you said, and I'm in the zone, I won't ask.
Cosmo, mentor, I look up to him.
Yeah.
But there's also a lot I need to know.
Yep.
So, and I will gladly buy into the Padawan role if it gets me closer.
Love that.
Cool.
I think I originally approached Madame Glask because I thought she would be willing to help me get leverage on shady folks. And surprised to find that you have principles that you don't yield on.
I'm not impressed by your riches.
Which
I'm mixed two of us.
Oh, I'm sorry, are you
so there's a begrudging respect there,
Yeah.
though
I
I
know now why you
also, like it or not, I judge her for her profession.
Of course.
Manual labor over here.
I've never been happier. I can't tell if I like the X's or whatever the fuck this is more, but it's got the same sexual tension.
I never worry about Oscar
Oh, yeah.
until recently.
Yeah.
Ah.
And now you have my full attention. But I
Just so
won't.
you know, you were talking earlier, I was like, Sam, whatever it takes. You gotta get in there and make this work. Get in there.
But
Didn't have to say it, but I will.
But I'll never play that card, right? Like I'm never gonna let him know how much it bothers me. So
Sure.
Yeah. Incredible.
Spicy.
This is spicy. It's so fucking good. Let's pivot from that. Let's get into our circle. Last thing I want to do, other than saying thank you, this has been so wonderful. I have so much stuff to dig into, and we'll be following up with all of y'all, both individually and in like our big group chat, with sort of confirmation and asking where people are sort of landing and locking in character and mechanics. I want to see if we can spend 5 minutes and get our circle name.
I got a bunch on a list.
Yes.
You made a list.
I'm going to say some of these out. I've said most of them already. Here we go. It's like 10 of them. Circle of Tide and Torrent.
Ooh.
I like it. I like it.
Circle of Tooth and Toil. They're all alliterative. Great. Cancel.
Dentists.
Circle of Toll and Tide. Circle of Tide and Bone. I still like that one, even though it's similar to an LVM.
That one's great.
I love that one.
Yeah.
Great. I'll say the S ones, and then we'll pick Tide and Bone. Circle of Sea and Sorrow.
Oh.
Circle of Sea and Sojourn. Tide and Bone it is.
Sea and Sorrow is pretty good.
Sea and Sorrow
Sorrow
is very
is-
good.
We could be the CNC music factor.
It's a God vibrate. Is that
I'd be good with either of those.
Tide and bone has consonants
circle
that feel good when you say them. You know?
Yeah, it's satisfying.
Satisfying.
Tide and
So
Torrent
say we all?
is really nice too.
For now.
Tide and
Okay.
Bone. Yeah.
Lock it in.
Yeah.
A circle of tide and bone has been created. Can you write it down?
I don't have the paper anymore.
It's right there.
Thank you. Can I steal a pencil?
Sorry.
Fine.
Sorry.
The circle of tide and bone.
Oh no. Beautiful.
Did I mention that I have a horrifying Australian accent with my character?
I love it.
Or no, I'm a monster.
It just be going,
Really bad at it, too.
like, please, you can be Manila Dicks. You have to stop. Well, that's it. Everything else will be reaching out and talking and bringing things from the realm of nebulous could-be's to what will be. Is there anything else you want to say to this group before we break?
I think this is going to be a lot of fun.
I
I
think
can't wait
so,
to
too.
get freaky with you guys.
Yeah.
All right, that's it. Can't wait to begin. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, yeah.